foolish mortal. You have inadvertently tuned into the forbidden frequency. It's Zombie Astronaut's Frequency of Fear.
Remember how good people used to taste? Live ones still do. Don't be fooled by imitations. If he's wearing man tan, he may look healthy. But down deep, where it counts, he will be flat, insipid, lacking in nourishment. It cannot be overemphasized. We need new blood. To those of you who are young in the business, the following illustrates the point. This can't be blood, because it looks too green. It makes me squeamish inside. This can't be blood. It tastes like benzodrine and smells like formaldehyde. The temperature is wrong. It lacks the heat. This is too sweet to be blood. This can't be blood. It fails to satisfy. The one who served it to you has lied.
Welcome, fellow astronauts, to the Zombie Astronauts Frequency of Fear. The track you just heard is Sheldon Allman's This Can't Be Blood from the album Sing Along with Drac. Allman's known for writing the theme to George of the Jungle as well as music for the Space Patrol TV series. He was also an actor who did bit parts in shows like The Untouchables, Peter Gunn, My Favorite Martian, Batman, I Spy, and dozens more. He was in films like HUD and The Sons of Katie Elder. He also had the dubious honor of writing the Monster Mash movie as well. This promises to be a great podcast. Not only is it full of filthy bloodsuckers and stuffed like a tick, but we're also conducting a fascinating experiment. I want to undergo the vampire experience to its fullest. As you can hear, I'm being nailed into a coffin where I'll be buried. This is, of course, the third step in the process of becoming a vampire. The first being getting bitten, and the second being getting sick and dying. I'm skipping to the good part. While shovelfuls of dirt get piled onto my coffin, I have something for you to listen to. It's Theater 1030's Two Little Punctures, my all-time favorite vampire-themed old-time radio show. Listen now to Two Little Punctures.
Time to tell tales of the unaccountable, of apparitions by night and phantoms in shadow. Time to tell strange stories of fantasy and the supernatural. Theater 1030 presents Two Little Punctures by Anthony Lee Flanders, starring John Scott as George, with Paul Kligman as Harry and Ed McNamara as Bill.
Yes, it was very clever of you to find me. It's not many that would have suspected my connection with an event that happened so long ago and so far away. But you're quite right. I was in Peru in 1948, and though my name was never connected with the story, I was there when it happened. I suppose it doesn't matter now if I tell you about it. And it isn't often that the newspaper sends out a pretty young lady to interview me. So I'll tell you the story. It can't hurt me now. I'm an engineer, practical man, 35 years with the same oil company. I have a house, mortgage paid off, 2 cars, a family, a portfolio of investments. Not exactly what you'd call a nut. So I'll tell you about it. It was actually in late 1947. I was sent to Taliesin, Peru. It's on the Pacific coast, the furthest point west on the South American continent.
George! So they sent you down here, too, greedy company. They just can't get that oil out of the ground fast enough.
They said it's pretty busy here, Bill.
Busy? That's hardly the word for it. Can you imagine? We're building a whole bloody town right here on the coast. It's like an invasion. Trucks, oil rigs, equipment, and supplies like they're going out of style.
The report says it's one of the largest strikes the company's ever had.
It is, George. It is.
He was right. The activity was phenomenal. There were already paved highways for the trucks. The place was a forest of wooden oil derricks. When they were done with a derrick, they just left it and moved on. And they were building a town. A house a day was being completed in assembly line fashion. And as fast as they finished them, the employees brought their families in to live there. I sent for Barbara, my wife.
George, not exactly as I pictured.
Well, how did you picture it?
Well, I expected the lush tropics, not this. Just rolling desert right up to the ocean.
Well, look over there. Those are the Andes. You can see them quite plainly on a clear day. Now, just back of them is the Amazon jungle. Here, it's just sandy hills leading up to the mountains. Barbara and I moved into one of the just completed houses. We held a little party with some of our friends. Harry Thompson was there. He was the interpreter. He'd just come back from a trip.
I was just up to some of the villages in the Andes. It's pretty spooky there. Nothing you can put your finger on. Just a feeling, something in the air. Or maybe the look in their eyes. I don't know. But it bothers me.
Well, do you think it's something that we should warn the rest about?
The trouble is, I don't know exactly what to warn them about. Let's just keep our eyes open, okay?
I was inclined to listen to Harry. He'd been here a long time, and if he had a hunch, there was probably something to it. And besides, he knew the natives pretty well. But nothing seemed to come of it. Of course, it was impossible to tell if things were normal because the whole area was in such a confusion. Then there was an event that didn't make things any easier.
George! George!
Barbara, where are you?
In here, the bedroom.
Come on, we've got to get out of here.
What is it? The whole house is shaking.
It's an earthquake. Come on. Get outside before the house collapses. It was one hell of an earthquake. Actually, a whole series of them between the Andes and the Pacific coast for a couple of 100 miles north and south.
George.
Yeah?
Can I talk to you for a minute?
Yeah, sure, Doc. What is it?
Well, look, we're going out of our minds over at the hospital. We've got beds for 40 patients, and God only knows how many hundreds need medical help. They're camped all over town. Now, can you engineers give us a hand, set up some emergency bedding for the bad cases?
Yes, we could. How about the warehouse for start?
Good. Oh, another thing. We've radioed for medical supplies. We want to fly them in. Do you think your boys could build a strip big enough for a DC-3 to land?
That'll take a bit of doing. Where's it coming from?
Red Cross headquarters in Weymouth.
Well, I'll get to work on the warehouse. I'll see what can be done about the strip. That was the situation. Chaotic and primitive. The natives were completely illiterate. Most wandered around naked all the time. The people from the company had been inoculated against everything, and of course, we got the best medical treatment. But there just wasn't enough to go around for all the natives. They were dying at an astonishing rate. The ones who weren't ill just sat around, looking dumbfounded by the whole thing. I guess they thought they'd offended the gods or something. And then some things happened that told me the whole situation was a lot more explosive than we thought. No, I haven't noticed anything unusual at all, Harry. I mean, hell, it's an unusual situation, but it's been like this for about 10 days now.
Well, that's what I mean. Even unusual situations settle down to their own form of normal. But last night, I thought I noticed something different.
Hey, it's funny you should mention that. I had a weird feeling last night. I was walking around camp checking on the supplies, and I had a peculiar feeling that somebody was watching me. But I checked, and everything was all right.
Come on, you guys. You sure you ain't got a fever or something?
Well, why don't you ask the doctor? Here he comes now.
George. Oh, George, I want to talk to you. Can I see you for a minute?
Yeah, sure, Don. What is it?
In private, George?
Yes. Over here.
Now, George, it's nothing you should get too worried about. I think it's not serious.
We'll get to the point, Doctor.
Well, it's Barbara.
Barbara?
Now, don't get excited.
Look, if something's the matter with Barbara, let's hear about it.
Look, I saw her this morning in a routine checkup of the company people. She seemed all right, except for one thing. She seemed listless.
Oh, is that all? Well, she's tired of this place. You know Barbara. She misses shopping, the cocktail party circuit, getting all dressed up for a concert. She's just bored here.
Yeah. Sure, George. Yeah. That must be it.
Well, did you see anything that showed it to be something else?
She looked a little, anemic.
She hasn't been sleeping well. It's the confusion. She's not used to earthquakes and thousands of natives camped on her doorstep dying faster than we can bury them. Now, there's a real problem for you, Doctor. It's a hazard to the community's health. We've got to bury those bodies a lot quicker. The situation was getting steadily worse. The earthquakes had struck for hundreds of miles up and down the coast, and medical supplies were desperately short. The Red Cross flew in what they could, but it wasn't nearly enough. The natives continued to die. There was a change of mood in the camp, a growing restlessness, a feeling it's hard to describe among the natives. One morning it was more noticeable than ever.
It doesn't look good.
No, we were just discussing, George and I. There is something strange going on. Did you notice the natives? They look spooky as hell. I came up behind one this morning, tapped him on the shoulder. He damn near jumped out of his skin.
Now, something happened last night. I don't know what it was. I heard a couple of them talking. They were whispering about something they saw last night. I asked them what they were talking about, but they wouldn't answer. They just slunk off. Same thing with all the others, I asked.
I think we'd better keep a close watch on them. Break out the weapons, the ammunition. We're outnumbered here 25 to 1. If they ever decide that we're not welcome, well, look out.
Harry, they wouldn't do that. They know we're friendly.
I'm not sure. They're a spooky bunch. No one can tell for sure what they're thinking. Maybe Bill's right. We better get the guns out, just for our own protection.
I didn't like that. The natives would see the guns and think that we had a reason for being scared, I said. But I was overruled. And as it turned out, I was damn glad I was.
What is it? I don't know. I was just sitting up here on guard when all of a sudden there was a panic. Just like that, a stampede. Natives running everywhere, screaming and yelling. Oh, they looked like they were scared out of their minds. They were about to overrun the supplies, so I fired in the air a few times. That quieted them down.
They seem to have settled down. I talked to the chiefs. They're trying to get them back into the camp.
Did you see anything, Harry?
No, not myself. But I heard some of them yelling about a woman in white.
Up there on the cliffs. Oh, that's all we need. Some crazy woman walking around in the moonlight spooks these savages like crazy in a situation like this.
The woman in white was Barbara. Well, I'm pretty sure it was anyway. When I got home, she was in bed, wearing her white negligee, the full-length one. It was dirty around the bottom. She had clay on her feet. Clay from the cliffs. I figured that she'd had one of her dreams. But she'd taken the sleeping pills the doctor gave her. She couldn't wake up, so she ended up walking in her sleep. I used to walk in my sleep when I was a kid, so I knew something about that. I didn't tell anyone it was Barbara, though. There's no need to get people upset. I didn't even tell her. She was nervous enough about the situation. Telling her she was sleepwalking wouldn't have made her feel any better. I told her I had tracked the clay into the house, and she must have picked it up that way. She didn't say anything. In fact, she didn't even seem to notice. She seemed, well, lethargic is the word, I think. The situation in town, though, is the complete opposite. That night,
What are they up to? I'm not sure. It's some kind of ceremony. Supposed to drive away evil spirits or something.
Let's hope they don't decide we're the evil spirits. It could be...
Look! My God! It's the woman! There! Up on the cliffs! Stop them! We've got to stop them! I'll shoot. Over their heads first. Now, what are they doing? I think the chief wants to talk to us. I'll go see what it is. No, you better not. I think it's okay. He wants to show me something. I don't like it. Hey, doctor, come in.
Did you kill any of them?
No, I shot over their heads. Doctor, what in the hell is going on?
I think I have an idea.
Doctor, will you come with me?
Bill, call George up here.
I was guarding the food supplies when Bill came down and got me. I went up to see the doctor.
George, that woman was Barbara.
Yes, I know. She's been sleepwalking.
That's probably true, George. But you've got to stop her from walking up there on those cliffs. She's probably safe herself. Sleepwalkers are all right unless they're suddenly disturbed. But she's scaring the hell out of the natives.
Well, she did look a little eerie, but that shouldn't scare them. It's just a woman. You can't harm them.
That isn't what they think. They think she's a vampire.
Don't be ridiculous.
Look, I know she isn't a vampire. You know she isn't a vampire, but they think she is. I didn't want to mention it before. But they have reason to think that. We've been warned on the medical bulletins that the earthquakes have changed the migratory patterns of a lot of the wildlife.
But what's that got to do with Barbara?
There is a species of vampire bat. It's found in parts of Mexico and Central America. Maybe it's found in the Amazon, too. Nobody's been there to check. Anyway, I think that species has suddenly shown up.
The earthquakes caused them to come?
They live on the blood of mammals. The quakes drove all the mammals out of the Andes. The bats must have fallen. I've had 8 cases of natives dying from a cause I couldn't determine. But I went back and checked. On all 8, there were 2 little punctures in the neck. Right on the jugular vein. Well, they haven't hit any of our people because we sleep in houses with the insect nets on.
Tell me, Doctor. What are the symptoms?
I'm not sure. I've only seen them dead. But I suspect general listlessness, lethargy, anemia.
Those are Barbara's symptoms.
That's right. She's been sleepwalking. It would be the same as being bitten in her sleep in bed. Look at this, George. 2 small punctures on her throat. Right over the jugular vein.
You've got to do something.
Difficult, George. It's very difficult. We have no idea what the effects of this are.
Well, people are dying from it.
But we don't know why.
We've got to make sure that she doesn't get out again.
And make sure nothing gets in. You keep a watch on her. I'll wire the Red Cross in Lima. They should have some experience with this sort of thing. I'll get right at it.
I kept a constant watch on Barbara. I don't think I slept for 2 whole days. On the second night, she seemed better. Here, I brought you some food.
Yes, I think I'd like to eat now.
You haven't eaten for 3 days. Do you remember anything?
No, I've been sleeping. I've been so tired lately. I've had bad dreams. Oh, George, can we leave here? I'm so frightened. If we don't leave right away, something terrible is going to happen. Something very terrible.
Barbara was right. Somehow the place seemed to have subtly changed. At first, not knowing what to expect, everything I'd seen in South America had seemed natural to me. I'd just taken it for granted. That is, until that evening. And then, for some reason, the whole thing seemed, well, like a picture, suddenly gone out of focus. Perhaps it was because I was so tired from staying up and watching Barbara, I fell asleep in the chair.
Anybody home? George, wake up. Wake up.
Oh, what is it?
Wake up, man.
Doctor, what are you doing here?
Where's Barbara?
Barbara? Well, she's in the bedroom, I think.
I think not.
Not here. She's gone.
I thought I saw a woman in white down near the natives' camp.
We've got to find her. Come on. Where did you find her, Bill?
Up on the cliffs again. I think the doctor better look at her, George. There's blood on her neck.
She's much worse, George. I'll have to give her a transfusion. I don't know how she gets the energy to go tramping around the cliffs when she's so weak. It's almost like a compulsion with her, it seems. Anyway, if she hasn't improved by morning, I'm going to have her flown to Lima. The Red Cross are better equipped for this sort of thing.
We didn't get the chance to send her to Lima. During the night, she died. The doctor put on the death certificate an unidentified tropical infection of the blood. We buried her that morning with no waiting. I was numb. I didn't know what to do. All that day, I worked as hard as I could, helping the doctor with the natives, assisting in the construction of a new hospital in what used to be the warehouse. I was bone tired, but I couldn't sleep. I didn't want to lay down and have to face my thoughts. That night, still not able to sleep, I stood guard duty with Bill.
It's a muggy night, eh?
Yeah, sure is.
Damn natives. They're liable to overrun the place.
Why? What is it this time?
superstitious bunch. They think they saw the woman in white on the cliff.
Oh, that's impossible. Barbara.
Yes, I know. They're just a spooky bunch of primitives imagining things. Look, George, why don't you get some sleep? Get the doctor to give you something.
The doctor gave me some pills. I took 2 of them and fell asleep almost immediately. That was exactly what I wanted. But I kept dreaming about Barbara. I dreamt I saw her walking on the cliffs, her white flowing gown trailing out behind her, silhouetted against the sky. I dreamt she came to me while I was sleeping. She didn't make a sound. She seemed to glide into the room, but not from the door, through the window. She came to the bed and leaned over me. And then she kissed me on the neck for the longest time. And then she left. In the morning...
George, you look worse this morning than before. I think I'd better send you back home. I can justify it on medical grounds. The company will take you back to Canada.
No, I don't think so, Doctor. At least not yet. I've got to adjust this whole situation in my mind. If I go back, it'll be unresolved. I won't have accepted anything. I don't think I could live with it if I just run away. Let me stay a little longer.
Well, a few more days. But if you don't show any improvement, back you go.
I didn't tell the doctor my real reason for wanting to stay. Actually, I wanted to get out of there. I hated the place. But I wasn't ready to leave Barbara. Not yet. The doctor gave me a sedative that night. Injected it. I went out like the proverbial light. Slept peacefully for several hours. Then, I seemed to be half awake, semi-conscious. I was aware that there was someone in the room. I looked at the window, and Barbara was standing there, in a long white gown. She smiled at me, walked over to the bed, leaned over, and kissed me on the neck. A long kiss, same as the night before. And then I had an incredible feeling of peace settling over me. I slept soundly till about 3 in the morning. And then suddenly I woke with a terrible feeling of dread. It was silent. And then I was suddenly very frightened. I heard voices in the next room.
Where's George?
In there, asleep.
Good. Let him sleep. Bill, the most terrible things happened. The natives dug up Barbara's coffin. They found the body and they drove a stake right through the heart.
And that was the end of it, young lady. That's the closest I ever came to the vampires. A rare breed of South American bat that killed my first wife. And some delirious dreams brought on by tropical fever. I don't know if that story is any use to your editor. I doubt if it ties in at all with its recent wave of unexplained deaths. But if you come closer... That's it. A little closer. I doubt if these modern scientific types will look at the necks of the victims. I doubt if they'll notice those 2 little punctures on your neck. Did you enjoy the story, young lady? You did? Well, you will come back tomorrow night, won't you? Here, let me wipe that trickle of blood from your neck.
Theater 1030 has presented Two Little Punctures by Anthony Lee Flanders, with John Scott as George, Vivian Reese as Barbara, his wife, and Ed McNamara as Bill, his friend. Paul Kligman was heard as Harry, and Neil Leroy as the Doctor. Sound effects were by John Sliz. Technical operation, John Skillen. Theater 1030 is a CBC Toronto presentation. This is Bill Lorne speaking.
Greetings, this is Taliesin, TTLG from Taliesin Meets the Vampires, invading the frequency of fear to give you a rundown of my personal top 3 vampire films. At number 3, we have The Hunger, Tony Scott's unique take on vampirism based on the Whitley Strieber novel of the same name, as vampire John Blaylock, played by David Bowie, begins to rapidly age. His sensual bride Miriam, played by the beautiful Catherine Deneuve, searches out new love with Susan Sarandon as Dr. Sarah Roberts, featuring goth godfathers Bauhaus playing their seminal track Bela Lugosi is Dead. The Hunger is an arty, erotic vampire flick with flashes of shocking violence. Watch out for the scene where Miriam seduces Susan, an erotically charged moment that is given a sinister edge as we realize that Miriam is turning Susan into a vampire, and we see images of plasma overlaying the scene. You'll never listen to the Flower Duet by Delibes in the same way again. At number 2, we have Adam Pasdar as Caleb, a small-town boy dragged into a shadowy world of death and danger in Catherine Bigelow's western vampire flick, Near Dark. Taken from his family by a group of vampires led by Lance Henriksen's Jesse, Caleb has to face his new bloodthirsty urges which he wants to deny with all his strength. A powerhouse performance by Bill Paxton as the psychotic Severin lights up a film only marred by its all-too-saccharine ending. Avoid the last 30 seconds and enjoy the brutal ride. The scene to watch for has the vampire family taking over a bar and slaughtering the patrons as they encourage Caleb to feed. Paxton steals the scene in an unforgettable and bloody performance. And at number 1, Boris Karloff shines in Mark Robson's Isle of the Dead. Stuck on an island visited by plague, a group of people begin to fear that the plague is not their real enemy, that the deaths are caused by the Volvolica, a Greek vampire that sucks the vitality from its victims. Heavy with atmosphere, this is a fascinating film that examines what happens when science fails and we fall back on the supernatural to explain our woes. The highlight scene sees young maid Thea, played by Ellen Drew, locked in a room with the body of her mistress. Outside the door is Madame Kira, an old woman who suspects the maid of being the Volvolica. As the panic-stricken girl tries to work out what to do, Madame Kira taunts her ruthlessly. It's a scene which drips with malevolence. To get more information on these and many more vampire movies and books, visit Taliesin Meets the Vampires at taliesinTTLG.blogspot.com. Alternatively, find the link in the links of the Zombie Astronaut.
Aha! Free of the coffin at last. Step 4 is escaping the coffin, which I can cross off my vampire to-do list. Let's see. Escaping coffin guy. Many thanks to Taliesin of Taliesin Meets the Vampires for what will be a regular feature on the frequency of fear. Our next vampiric fiddle is a song by horror host Creepy Clyde, the country vampire. Not only is Creepy Clyde perhaps the only purveyor of vampire rap, but his album Spooky Town is a collection of mostly country-tinged Halloween tunes. The CD's only $5, and I can't think of a better use for a Lincoln. You will not be disappointed. His website is www.creepyclyde.com, where you can also find links to YouTube posts of his shows, as well as a DVD of his first program. This song, not featured on the aforementioned Spooky Town CD, is called I'm a Vampire, which will be followed by the Hermit's Cave episode, The Vampire's Desire.
in the sun, 'cause I'm a vampire, and then my life would be done. Don't you know I'd like to have a little moment in the cemetery, checking out the tombstones, not tripping on bones. I could see all the names on the graves, some I know, and then there's some I'd like to meet someday. Of the birds and the bees are for the daytime only. In the night, I get so lonely. I'm a vampire, don't come walking in the sun. I'm a vampire, don't come walking in the sun. I could live forever if I do one thing. Never go in the sun, it would hurt, it would sting. I would burn to a crisp like a hot dog on a campfire. Sunlight and me don't mix, 'cause I'm a vampire. In the coffin till the sun goes down. I wake up, get up, and tear up the town. I frown. Everybody's got a beautiful tan, 'cause they can. Every woman and man. Do they know what I am? I'm a creature, like in a double feature. Don't ask a teacher, go ask a preacher. I'm a vampire, don't come walking in the sun. I'm a vampire, don't come walking in the sun. So that's it. When the sun is on the other side of the earth, I take in the moonlight for what it's worth. Not so bad, not so sad, in fact I'm very glad. Look at the stars up above, a time to fall in love. I take a stroll around the block, I know I'm on the clock. You know the night is the time you wanna really rock. At times I have so much fun, just like a normal Joe. But then the worst of it all, I hear the rooster crow. I'm a vampire, don't come walking in the sun. I hear the rooster crow. I'm a vampire, don't come walking in the sun. I gotta go. I'm a vampire, don't come walking in the sun. I gotta go. I gotta go. I'm a vampire, don't come walking in the sun. I gotta go.
Theater of the Air.
Now the Hermit is ready to help you spend an entertaining half hour.
Ghost stories. Weird stories. And murders, too. The Hermit knows of them all. Turn out your lights. Turn them out. Have you heard the story of Vampire's Desire? Then listen while the Hermit tells you the story.
Forbidding-looking place, Mr. Winton?
It is at that. We can't go any farther in this downpour.
We shall most likely have to stay in this doorway, then. The house looks untenanted.
Does it that? However, there may be someone in.
There's no one living in this tomb of a place, Mr. Winton.
I think you're right, John. I wonder where we are.
I haven't had the slightest idea where we are since the beginning of the storm when we lost our way.
I think you're right about the place being untenanted. Try the door. Maybe we can break in. Anything to get out of this storm. Try the door.
Yes, sir. Oh, it's opening.
Oh, good.
Well?
Good evening. We've lost our way, been caught in this storm. We're drenched to the skin.
More fools you for being out on a night like this.
Very agreeable sort.
May we come in and get dried out?
You're not welcome.
Well, surely you're not going to turn us away on a night like this.
I don't care what kind of a night it is. You're not welcome.
Well, all right. May we come in, whether we're welcome or not?
No. Good night.
She's slamming the door in your face.
Kindly soul.
When the old woman tried to slam the door, I stuck my foot in the way, and she hasn't tried to close it anymore.
Good. Let's take a chance on going in, then, whether we're welcome or not.
All right, sir. Now, which way, Mr. Winton?
Who can tell in this pitch darkness? Listen.
The old woman.
Yes.
Mr. Winton, we're in the house of a mad woman.
It isn't a very pleasant sound, is it?
Doesn't seem to be a light in the whole place. What shall we do?
We'll go to the right. Feel along the wall for a light switch or a door.
All right.
Come along, then. Follow me. Here's a door. Come along, John. Stay close by me.
Yes, sir. Oh, good Lord, sir. Is she going to keep that up all night?
Well, if she is, I wish she'd tell what the joke is so we can laugh with her. Find the light switch?
No, there doesn't seem to be one.
All right, then. We'll continue in the dark. You go to the left, I'll go to the right. Maybe we can find something to sit on.
Yes, sir. What's this? I found something.
What is it?
Well, it might be a bookcase built into the wall.
All right. There may be at least something in it that we can sit on. Even books will be better than the cold floor.
Yes, sir. Although I can't feel anything yet.
Keep talking, John, so I can find my way over to you.
Yes, sir. Why don't you strike a match?
Fine chance either of us have of doing that. You'll be soaking wet. Where are you?
Right here, sir. You're almost up to me.
Oh. Now, where's the bookcase?
Right here. Let me have your hand.
Yes. Now, let's feel all through it. Maybe something of use in it. You never can tell. What was that?
Sounds like someone at the door.
What are you doing?
Trying to light a match.
Any luck?
No, sir. Just like you said, they're sopping wet.
Quiet now. Let's listen. You must have been imagining things.
I've been imagining things ever since we first heard that old woman laugh like that. It fairly makes my hair stand on end. There it is again, sir. A rustling near the door.
Who is that? Who's there?
Stay away from that bookcase. Stay away.
Who is it? Who are you?
Stay away from that bookcase.
We wouldn't be near the blessed bookcase if you'd be gracious enough to conduct us to a room where some mice can get dry.
Stay away from the bookcase.
He's leaving, sir.
Well, this is a fine how do you do, isn't it?
Oh, I've had about enough, sir. I'd sooner we were on our way.
Oh, nonsense. However, we'll leave the bookcase alone if that's what we're asked to do.
He's still hereabouts?
Yes, I heard him. Say, you playing some game with us? If so, we're not in the mood for it.
No answer.
No.
Oh, there she is again.
Yes. That's enough. That's enough.
What are you going to do, sir?
This is some fool game they're playing with us. I'm going to find out about it and put a stop to it. There's a man and woman living in this house. There must be some furniture in at least one of the rooms.
And some heat, sir. I'm chilled to the bone.
Yes, some heat. There isn't, and there's something going on here that we should investigate and put a stop to. Come along, John.
All right, sir, if you say so. Where to first?
We'll start right where we are. Search the whole house. From this floor up to the roof. Isn't that...
Look, Mr. Winton. Look.
Where?
Down to the end of this hall. There's the old man who was talking to us in the room downstairs, telling us to keep away from the bookcase.
I think you're right. Carrying a shaded lantern.
Yes, sir.
John, we'll follow him.
Yes.
He'll lead us somewhere. We can't wander in this house all night in the dark.
At any rate, he has a light.
I don't think he's noticed us.
We'll have to get close to him before he turns that corner down at the end of the hall.
Yes.
He's almost at the corner. There, he turned.
Hurry. He might duck into some room close by and we'll lose him. Easy now, while I peek around the corner.
You see him, sir?
Yes. Going into the first room on the left.
Quiet. The air Stale and musty here.
Yes, but never mind about that just now.
That makes me gasp for breath.
Here's the room he went into. Quiet now while I have a look.
Is he in there, sir?
Strange. I'm sure he went in there.
He might be hiding behind the door waiting to pounce on us.
Old man like that couldn't do much pouncing.
He might be armed.
Oh, take that chance. The hair is stale and musty here, isn't it?
I can hardly get my breath.
The foul, fetid air coming from that room the old man went into. Well, if he can stand it, we can.
All right, sir. But be careful.
He's not in here. If he is, he's turned out the lantern. Hello. Hello.
There's no one in here.
Huh? The door, John. The door just slammed shut.
Oh, there's no door here. I ran right into a blank wall.
Where the door was?
Right here, yes.
John, we're trapped. Some devilman underfoot in this house. We're right in the middle of it.
In a room with no way out. And no air. No air.
Now, don't start whimpering. We're in it, and we'll have to see what we can do to get out.
But what could they want of us?
How should I know?
What shall we do? Just sit and wait?
No, we'll start looking for a way out of this room right now. If we only had a light. Maybe we can find some other way out of this room.
We can try.
You go to your right, I'll go to the left. We follow the wall around till we meet.
All right.
And tap the wall as you go along. Listen for hollow spots.
No. Oh.
Now what?
I stumbled over something on the floor, sir.
Well, what is it?
I don't know. I shall have to feel. Oh.
What is it, John?
A body, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir. It's the body of a man.
Where is it?
No, don't touch it, sir. Don't touch it.
Why not?
I did. And a part of it crumbled to bits.
Good heaven.
Yes, sir. It crumbled under my touch.
Where is it?
Right at my feet. I'm afraid to move another step.
We'll see what this is.
Yes.
You're right. I just touched it and part of the clothing crumbled away. And John, I felt bones.
Oh, sir. That's what's going to happen to us if we don't get out of this place. I just know it is.
Yeah, that fellow must have been dead for years. The clothing just crumbled away in my fingers.
Yes.
John, we must get out of this place as quickly as possible. We're in great danger, I'm sure of it. In danger of our lives. We've got to find a way out of this room before we suffocate.
Why don't we try to find the place where the door was, sir?
Yes. Back to the door, John. We haven't time to look for any other exit. We'll have to find out how to open the door we came in.
It's over this way, sir. Right along this wall. Who's there? There's the hideous cackle of the old woman again.
Never mind about that cackle. We've only a few minutes to find a way out of here. When that door closed, it hermetically sealed this room. If we don't get out, we'll suffocate.
What shall I do, sir?
Feel along the floor while I search along the walls here. Feel for any loose boards or any part of the floor that might move.
Yes, sir.
Have you found anything yet?
No, sir.
Keep working. For heaven's sake, keep working.
I can't do any more, sir. I'm through.
Keep searching, John. Keep searching. There must be a secret spring somewhere in here that'll open this door. Did you find anything yet, John? John, answer me. John. Done for. Don't let go, man. Keep on. Hang on. We're not done for yet.
Mr. Winton and his man John, trapped in a house of mystery, suffocating in a hermetically sealed room. Where is the old man with the lantern? Eh? The hermit will tell you before the night is done. Winton and his man John are trapped in a hermetically sealed room in a house of mystery. Yes, John has lapsed into unconsciousness. But just as Winton is about to drop off, something happens. Listen.
John, we've made it. I've found the hidden spring just in time. Now, get you out of here. There. You'll be all right in no time.
Oh, it's you, sir.
Yes. Now, come on. Pull yourself together.
Where are we?
I don't know. But at least we're out of that death trap.
How did we do it, sir?
Just before I went under, I happened on that hidden spring that works the door.
What about the old man with the lantern? And the cackling old woman? And the crumbling body of the man?
We're going to see about those things immediately. I'm going to get to the bottom of this thing. Come on.
And get suffocated all over again?
I don't think we will. Besides, I know where the release for the door is now. Come along. And careful. Take an extra long step when you enter the room. I think we tripped some kind of mechanism when we first entered.
Yes, sir.
Old man with a lantern went into this room and disappeared.
But where can he have got to? If he stayed in the room, he must have suffocated.
He didn't stay in the room. I'm positive of that. Keep your ears open. Listen for any hollow sounds.
There's one, sir.
Yes, I heard it. Listen. Don't you hear someone talking?
No, sir.
Put your ear to the wall and listen. You hear it now?
Yes, sir. Two people talking.
Yes. I knew that old man couldn't have vanished into thin air. There's another door hidden here somewhere. We're going to find it. Feel for anything movable around the wainscoting. I'll work up the sides here.
Can you hear what they're saying?
No, they're too far away to catch any of the words. However, from his tone, I'd say he was threatening her.
You found it, sir?
Yes, this little bud on the decoration here.
Look, sir. A flight of stairs.
Yes, and leading down. Come on.
Oh, haven't we had enough for one night, sir, without sticking our noses in any further?
We've gone this far and had an attempt made on our lives. We're going to clear up this business before we leave.
No telling what might be down there, sir.
That's what I'm going to find out. Well, you coming with me, or shall I go alone?
Oh, no, sir, I'm coming.
You can hear them talking a little more clearly now.
Do it, I tell you. You understand that?
Close enough to make out their conversation.
Now there are two more up there with Gregory.
Yes. The man we saw with a lantern is talking about us, John.
Yes, sir.
He thinks we're dead upstairs with that body we found.
If you do not continue to obey me, that's what will happen to you.
Oh, no. No.
Cringe. Cringe. That's what I want you to do.
Come on, John. We'll see what we can do about this.
When I'm gone, you think all the money will be yours.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
There's a turn in the passage just ahead. I can see a light shining. Quietly now. We'll be able to see into the room in a moment or so.
Tomorrow, you will bring me another young animal to feed upon.
Yes, Brother Garnet.
It's her brother that's talking.
Yes. Easy now while I look around the corner. What in heaven's name?
What do you see, sir?
Come here.
Great heavens. A coffin.
Yes, a coffin.
With a huge lighted candle at each corner.
And look in the coffin.
A man.
The one we heard talking.
When you get back to your cottage each morning, you wonder where you've been the night before. Don't you? Huh?
Here you are, John.
But his lips don't move.
No. But that's where the voice is coming from.
You don't know that I have you under my power?
What shall we do, sir?
We dash in there and let matters take their course. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Come on, then.
Lydia, the candles. Quick, out with them.
Stop! John, quickly, that cover over there. Slam it on the coffin.
The lady. Look at her. Look at the change that's coming over.
Where am I? A coffin. You too. Where am I?
You should know better than us.
But I don't.
Are you sure?
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, please believe me. Why, I begin to understand now.
I think I do, too.
It's been this all the time. While I thought it was just a terrible nightmare.
Would you like to make yourself clear?
The coffin. Tell me. Who's in it? Who's in the coffin?
You mean to say that you don't know?
Oh, no, I swear I don't.
Well, you called him brother just a few moments ago.
Brother?
Your own brother Garnet is in that coffin.
No. No, how can that be? We buried my brother Garnet over 8 years ago.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
You are...
I'm Lydia Crampton.
Miss Crampton, I would advise you to start at the beginning so that we might unravel this maze.
Oh, I'll try. But not here, please.
Yes, here. If my deductions are correct, it would be better for everyone concerned to get the truth right here and now.
All right. There's very little I can tell you that I know definitely. Brother Garnet died about 8 years ago. I hate to say it, but he was horrible. He was a devil. As soon as Father died and he came into the money, he started making my life miserable.
Why?
I never could find out why. Then Garnet died and was buried. And with him was buried the secret of Father's will. I know that the estate was supposed to pass on to me after Garnet's death, but I can't find any sign of the will.
What have you done?
I have a small income from my mother. I've been living in a little cottage not far from here. And now comes the part that's like a terrible dream. But I'm beginning to see it now. I'm positive that I'm right when I say that Garnet somehow was able to exercise his will upon me after death.
What makes you say that?
What I've been thinking were horrible nightmares. I now see were actual occurrences. He made me come here every night to wait upon him. He told me that Gregory, his butler, had placed him here in this coffin and had buried a dummy in his place. Then he killed Gregory.
The body in the room upstairs?
Yes. When he had me under his spell, I used to pass through that room and laugh at the remains of Gregory, call him lazy for always sleeping on the floor. To think that I would do a thing like that.
Go ahead, Miss Crampton.
He made me bring him a young animal every day or two.
What was that for?
He fed upon them.
I thought so. He feeds upon the blood of animals.
Yes. He sucked the blood from them. And when he had fed, he had the strength to get out of his coffin for a while.
This is horrible. Stop her.
Oh, quiet, John. Then that's how we saw him in the hall upstairs. Go ahead, Miss Crampton.
That is about all. He used to taunt me by the hour, telling me I'd never come into my inheritance.
I see. When we slammed the lid on the coffin, we broke his spell over you.
Yes, you must have done.
Tell me, Miss Crampton, where in this room are we in connection with the rest of the house?
I don't know. It must be on the ground floor, I suppose.
That's what I was thinking. I have an idea.
What is it, sir?
Hear that?
Another hollow spot.
Exactly. Now, what's this point right here?
Yes, sir?
We'll press it and...
It's opening.
Why, it's the bookcase in the front room.
And look at this in the back of the bookcase. A small secret compartment.
Keep away from the bookcase.
The dead body is talking. Talking even with the coffin lid on.
All right, John, we're ready to put a stop to his talking. Here, Miss Crampton, a package from the compartment in the back of the bookcase. I think you'll find it's your father's will.
Father's will?
Yes. Now, John, take those candles out of the candlesticks. Hand the candles to Miss Crampton. Now, hand me one candlestick and use the other as the hammer.
What are we going to do, sir?
We're going to put an end to Gardener Crampton.
But how, sir? What are we going to do with the candlestick?
I'll show you. Use the ornamental pointed end of this candlestick as a spear. You use your candlestick as a hammer. We'll drive this one through the heart of that monster in the coffin.
No, no.
But that would be murder.
It will not. He only lives during the night. Go on, strike. We'll release his soul so that he'll never trouble anyone on Earth again. Faster, John.
I'm working as fast as I can, sir.
When Miss Crampton told me of his feeding on young animals...
Sucking the blood?
Yes, I knew then that we had a vampire to deal with.
What are you doing? For heaven's sakes, what are you doing?
We're ridding the face of the earth of a vampire. It's done. We've driven the point of this candlestick through the coffin and through the heart of Garnet Crampton, who's long been dead, but whose soul has been held in bondage by the result of his evil practices in life.
With the heavy candlestick used as a spear, Winton and his man John put an end to the vampire's desire. Yes. Released his soul so it could never again return to the earth. Turn on your lights. Turn them on. I'll be back. Pleasant dreams.
All characters, places, and occurrences mentioned in the Hermit's Cave are fictitious, and similarity to persons, places, or occurrences is purely accidental.
The Hermit's Cave ran from 1935 to 1944, originally broadcast on WJR Detroit, eventually relocating to KMPC in Los Angeles in 1940. Okay, so the fifth step is to feed on the locals. I really don't have time for that now, so I just threw a young couple from Kent who are spending a night in a tent to a passing pack of werewolves. Boy, if those villagers think they have a vampire problem, wait until they see the fleas on those puppies. Speaking of villagers, here comes the mob. The mob is the sixth phase of the vampire experience. This is interchangeable with a single experienced vampire hunter, but it's not as much fun. Now the villagers have to approach me angrily and blame me for recent misfortunes they've experienced.
I got this chocolate in my peanut butter.
They'll also regale each other with tales of horrible and blasphemous things I've been witness doing.
I heard that he be listening to that there Led Zeppelin.
Now they're prepared to move into the seventh and final phase, disposing of the vampire. But before we get to that, I'd like to thank Creepy Clyde and Taliesin again and mention links to their respective sites can be found at www.zombieastronaut.net.
Put a stake in him! Put a stake in him!
I'll leave you with a flexi disc found within the pages of Dynamite magazine. It's a Halloween novelty track featuring Dynamite's own vampire, Count Morbida. This track is called Count Morbida's Chamber of Horrors.
I got the stake right here.
Stake the vampire! Stake him!
Well, that wasn't too bad.
Now chop his head off.
Yes, now you're supposed to chop his head off.
All right, here goes.
Excuse me.
That was fun. I could go for a sandwich.
Aha! So you dare to invade the privacy of the unconquerable Count Morbida. Master, master of ceremonies, the skipper of skullduggery, enforcer of evil.
Not to mention Transylvania's most valuable empire. Don't be so modest, my pet.
Morbida, you look as lovely as a frog in spring. You look... But never mind that now. As you can see, we are not alone. It's those kids again. Back to bother the barbarous baron of beastliness. Returned to pester me, Count Morbida, and my lovely lizard-like lady, Morbida.
Oh, they're all over the place. Do something, my demonish darling. Feed them to the Venus flytrap plant. Toss them to the boa constrictors.
No, no, my lily white wonder. I have better plans for these no-necked nosy bodies. Are you ready, Squirts? Are you prepared for a tour of my chambers? My torture chambers. Follow me. And just for the record, don't plan on being back in time for milk and cookies. Yeah. It's very dark, isn't it? Don't be afraid. You aren't alone.
Yes, we're here with you.
Now I will repay you for all the times you have pounced on me. It was bad enough seeing you every month in Dynamite. But to actually have you in my claw-like clutches is more than I can take.
Oh, it's music to my ears.
You kids think you know all my secrets. You have mastered my mazes, untangled my twisted tongue twisters, uncrossed my criss-crossed crosswords. But this time you are trapped. See those spider webs up there in the cave? They're just waiting to wrap around you.
Listen.
Yes, listen. That's the Wolfman welcoming you. I think he has a few bones to pick with you. Yours. Oh, I hope you're not thinking of leaving. Morbida and I have all kinds of surprises prepared for you. Don't we, my heartthrob?
Oh, yes, sweet mystery. I'd like to use this plump little morsel of a mortal to stuff a pillow.
Oh, Bella, you're so deliciously evil.
Oh, listen, they're playing our song.
We are nearing the snake snuggery. In other words, the pits. Lean over, why don't you? See how they wiggle and squiggle and squaggle and hiss. Imagine the thrill of having one squirm across your foot.
Hiss the snakes goodbye now, gang. We must be moving on.
Ah, yes. On to the cave where my battering battalion of bats hang out. Shh! Don't make a sound. Shh! See that door ahead? See how it seems to be breathing? The door is waiting for you. It's waiting for you, my little bloodsuckers. This is the end. Shh! It's all over now. Look deeply into my eyes. Deeper, deeper. You are in my power. Do exactly as I tell you. Move slowly, quietly, easily towards the door. Shh. Reach up to the giant doorknob. Shh. Carefully, ever so carefully, open the door. Now, scram!
This has been the Zombie Astronauts Frequency of Fear. For more horror, sci-fi, and suspense audio, see the website at www.zombieastronaut.net. Right now!